Good. Little body language action there.
All right. All right, guys. We're
Down a little bit.
what's that?
Turn my volume down. It's really loud.
Okay. All right, guys. We were just
Yeah, thanks.
we're live from SHOT Show. Captain Brett Bartlett's going to be hosting the show. We're live on the stream, and of course, we've got about 1 minute before we start the countdown for the radio, which will be 6 minutes. So just stay with us, guys. It should be it should make for a good show, I think. And we do have a fourth part of this running a little bit late, so when he gets here, we'll add him to the show. But it'll probably be during a commercial break. But Brett, I think you're Breast. I called you Breast. Brett, I think that we're hosting today. I think you are. So,
yes.
So good deal.
So you must do what I tell you.
Yes. All right. And so, yeah, we are live from SHOT Show. I'm just checking the feed on LinkedIn to make sure that we're live on LinkedIn. So looking good so far. I'm going to pop over to, actually, that was on Rumble. And on LinkedIn, just checking this one out as well. And making sure that we show up here. I'm not showing us live on LinkedIn yet, but I think it's going to happen. So, all right, we've got 10 seconds, Brett, and then you're just going to do the the soft announcements. We got 6 minutes left before we go radio.
Soft announcement.
Like, hey, this is going to be on today's show. If you have any questions or anything, type it on the stream. We can see you, that kind of stuff. Yeah, we are live on Rumble, by the way.
This is on-the-job training.
He's put a lot of misplaced faith in me.
So you got to go ahead and do your thing.
All right. Howdy, everybody. We are live from Las Vegas, Nevada. We're at the National Sport Shooting Foundation SHOT Show. It is absolutely the biggest event of its kind, probably in the world. It is the firearms industry trade show. So we're live from there today. So we have with us Dr. Joel Schultz, who's retired from police chief. And we have, of course, our grand poobah, Chip the Block over there. He's a knower of all things electronic. So we're going to be kind of unofficial today. We're going to have a list of things to talk about. We're going to talk about what's happening, probably stuff going on in the last 5 minutes. Now, I noticed, Dr. Schultz, the other day in Minnesota, they had a guy walking around with an AR-15.
Well, save that for the radio portion. What are we? We're on the first 6 minutes, news, traffic, weather, sports. So we're just doing we're answering questions and and things like that.
Right.
And so what is, guys? I normally host, Brett's a co-host, but it's been a little while. But and we're radio now too. We haven't always been radio and stuff. So the first 6 minutes we will take questions from people on the stream. We're streaming over 1 million people right now for the first 6 minutes. So we've got roughly about 4.5 minutes left before we go to satellite radio. And once that happens, we'll do the formal introductions on all the panelists. And then we'll go ahead and get things started. And maybe by some luck, panelist Travis Shates will have arrived because maybe he kills his Uber driver and he runs on foot to get here. I don't know.
Well, here's the cool thing, everybody. We're in Las Vegas. We're sitting in the booth. We're watching traffic go by, foot traffic. You hear it in the background. And the people that you hear are just a tiny little speck of a number of got to be 10,000 people here. The hallways are jammed up. We have every floor in this facility. The Venetian, and there's even a bridge going over to the next one behind us. It is so packed. So if you guys have any questions about what's going on at the SHOT Show and how you can help out, here's what I suggest. Go on the website, the National Sport Shooting Foundation, to their website. Take a look at all the stuff they do for the firearms industry and for the Second Amendment. And I suggest you join. The more people that join the NSSF, the better off we're going to be. So Chip, what else we got?
That was beautiful. I'm just trying to get over that. You did leave out, you said there were about 10,000 people here, but you left out the fan base for Dr. Schultz.
So it's 10,002 people here.
Well, I tell you, it's us. It's nerve-wracking for me because most of the towns that I've lived in and worked in probably have a lower population than all the people in this building today. But it's massive.
You know what I found out, Chip, the other day? The concrete show here brings in more people than the SHOT Show. I never would have thought that.
And when he says concrete, you mean like cement? I know there's a difference. But
concrete. Yeah, cement. The concrete. They call it the concrete show.
Yeah. Well, people might think that it's something like Flamingo Dancer Show, kind of like wait. Speaking of flamingos, didn't the chief have a an experience.
Buddy, I don't know. He had an encounter with a flamingo young lady last night.
Yeah.
And I had to rescue him.
Yes, I was scared. I was scared. I'm not scared often, but that scared me.
You know what he said to the girl? I'm not going to be a victim.
Yeah.
No, I told her, I said, you don't, she called me by my name because I had my name tag out. And I was like, the first thing on my mind was, I don't know her. She doesn't know me.
Yeah.
But now she has my QR code and how she has my name. So she owns me.
That's right.
Yeah. So it is a huge event. We just love coming out here, walking around, seeing all the new stuff, talking to all the people. It's extremely uplifting to see all these people involved in the gun trade, to see the, I don't know, it's just a good feeling that everybody, and we have a guard dog walking by. Very nice.
Hey, you know, I know we've got Arthur Johnson on the stream right now. Morning, everyone. He loves the new format. It's 24 degrees in Richmond, Virginia.
And it's gone socialist, so that's a plus.
Wow, yeah. We got a minute and a half before we go live satellite, guys. So just to keep everybody on the same time limit here, but it's looking good so far. So, and we're live on LinkedIn. We got LinkedIn is live, and over on Rumble as well. So, yep, everything's looking good.
All right, my life is complete then.
I hope Major Yates is watching the show today.
He prefers to be referred to as Dr. Yates, but yes.
Yeah, that's mythology.
We had a good time last night. We went out. It was a rooftop engagement though, which we did not know about. So we left our jackets and warm gear at home.
Yeah, it was a little chilly
in the room. Yeah, a little chilly.
Yep.
And then Brett commandeered a heater from another table, and we had 2 heaters on our one table, which I got to admit was pretty nice.
Now, when you say heater, we're not talking about a pistol, you know. Heater is informal slang. We didn't commandeer a pistol. We commandeered an actual heater.
And also, for the record, there were no flamingo girls at this event.
For the record.
Yeah, for the record. Yeah. Allegedly. So, yeah, there's a lot of activity here, guys. We've got roughly 25 seconds before we start the radio portion of the show. So we're getting close.
Introduce us.
Yeah, at that point. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, look, we are going to start the music. And we're getting ready to go to satellite radio. So put your seatbelts on. It's going to be a wild ride. We cannot promise, anything, but, that you won't get injured. But, guys, stick with us. We'll be right back. Here we go.
Welcome, everybody. We're live from Las Vegas, Nevada. We are at the National Sports Shooting Foundation SHOT Show. It is the biggest firearms industry trade show in the world, and we're smack dab in the middle of it. We have a booth set up in the hallway. We're seeing all these people walk by, going to the exhibits. You can walk this place for 3 days, and not retrace your steps. So welcome. We've got Chip DeBlock is with us, of course. We have Dr. Joel Schultz. He's a retired chief from he lives out in Colorado, beautiful Colorado. And so we're going to talk about some things that are happening just in the news in the last day or so. And one of the ones I want to talk about is I saw on, I think my YouTube feed, I saw a picture of a.
Well, can I stop you just, and I apologize, but I want to mention our sponsors. And just on the intro, we have our title sponsor, and we love our sponsors, and, just like we love Dr. Schultz, but we have Galls at Galls.com, our title sponsor. We also have, CompliteTechnologies.com, our satellite sponsor. Thanks to them, we're on satellite radio. We have AeroPrecisionUSA.com, our arms sponsor. We have Gunlearn.com, on Medicare.live, Safeguard Recruit, our streaming sponsor. Thanks to them, we're streaming over 1 million people right now during the live show. We have TwoBells.com, that built a new online store at LeoRoundtable.com, FishOrlandoBass.com, hook up with Zach, do a bass fishing charter, or the alligator hunting. And also a shout out to Brian Burns with the Tampa Free Press at TampaFP.com. Thanks for hearing our content, Brian. Ray Dietrich, former Lawman.com, our very own who's running late, TravisYates.com, or TravisYates.com, TravisYates.org, who has LawOfficer.com. So thanks for all those entities for helping make the show happen. Back to Brett.
All right, getting back to what I was talking about. So in Minneapolis today, I saw a picture of a guy. He's the anti-ICE group standing out in a crowd of people. He had an AR-looking device strapped across him, and he had what looked like a suppressor on the end of it. I don't know if it was licensed or not. I don't even know if it's a real suppressor, because you can have fake ones as long as they don't reduce the decibels, and it's not a suppressor. So I looked up Minnesota law, and in Minnesota, you can only openly carry if you have a permit. So apparently this person has a permit, so his name is known to somebody out there. My concern is, open carry on both sides. It's going to lead to a clash. It's going to lead to gunfire, lead to somebody being injured. That's my nightmare scenario. But I just think something like that in Minneapolis is coming because it's very hot. They just invaded the church. What's next?
You know, this over the last I don't know 5-10 years maybe, despite all the anti-gun rhetoric out of Washington, more and more states have allowed open carry, constitutional carry, no permit required for concealed carry. My current home state of Colorado is slowly trying to peck away at the Second Amendment by more and more requirements. The Supreme Court, being an originalist, most of those justices are opening up the original intent of the and historical intent of the Second Amendment. But all of that requires that responsible gun owners do responsible things, and toting around a real or not real long gun in a crowd where there are existing tensions is not responsible firearms ownership. So it's kind of like, I don't want to make a real strict comparison, but these violent protesters and very disruptive and disrespectful protesters are really doing more harm to the First Amendment than those that are trying to restore some order.
Right.
And in the same way, irresponsible firearms owners do damage to the rights of responsible firearms owners. And we have to have what should be common sense has become statute for you. Got to lock your gun in your car. You got to keep the gun away from kids. And there are certain zones where you're not allowed to carry a firearm. And as long as we, tread that line and operate within the law and within the Constitution, we'll be able to maintain and expand our understanding of what those rights are. But knuckleheads like this don't do us any favor.
No, and the more that people pose each other out on the street with firearms hanging off, they're just going to get worse. And I don't know if you know, in Florida, we just a court case negated our ban on open carry. So in Florida, we now have open carry. It wasn't a statutory change. It was a lawsuit that caused us. And I read the lawsuit, and it was interesting because one of the points the judge said was that back when the Constitution was signed, open carry was normal, concealed carry was sneaky. So basically, we're just going back to the way it was all those years ago. But since they changed that in Florida, and Chip, you can jump in on this, I haven't seen one single person openly carrying a firearm. I've talked to people that have seen other people, but it's not like a big wave of this.
Well, in Missouri, when I was in law enforcement there, the law changed from carrying a concealed weapon being a felony to you can carry with a permit. And of course, open carry had always been lawful. And so people would ask me, aren't you afraid of more and more people carrying concealed weapons? And I assume everybody's got a weapon in the first place. That's not going to change my world at all.
Yeah. I carry anywhere I can. Now, people say, are you carrying your gun? I say, I'm awake. Therefore, the answer is yes. But the open carry, although I'm okay with it legally, constitutionally, I'm not a big fan of it because I don't want a bad guy seeing my gun. And I don't want other people seeing my gun and becoming uncomfortable with because of their vicinity to me. So I think we owe it each other as responsible gun owners not to put other people ill at ease because we have a constitutional right to do it. Just because we can do it doesn't mean we should do it.
But what about, there's a certain kind of a guy that's going to carry a gun, open carry, in my opinion. I mean, let's face it, you're at a huge tactical disadvantage by doing that because you're letting all the bad guys know that you're carrying, right? So when something bad goes down, who's the first guy they're going to take out?
Yeah, it's like the guys that run around, and of course I'm guilty of myself, wearing those tactical pants that got 14 pockets on it. I call them kill me first pants. Yeah, because when the bad guy's looking who to smoke first, he's going to look for the guy that's got a bulge in his shirt. He's going to look for a guy that's got a gun hanging out. He's going to look for a guy. So when we're out there carrying a gun, we should be if I use this word correct, the most innocuous person we can be. We're not advertising. But if maybe one day I want to open carry because of the situation, and I'm okay with that. But typically, we don't see people openly carrying. And I believe you're onto something. Most gun owners, the vast majority of gun owners are responsible people.
Yeah, no, I agree. What we'll do is, there's a sign, we have to have the camera where it is where I can catch, and you can see the men's room sign behind me.
Oh, great.
So what we're going to do on break, we're going to switch it and we're going to put women's room on there during the break. When we come back live satellite, we're going to catch the action firsthand and see what happens. We'll put you know what I'm talking about. I mean, I think it's
well. I love we saw Travis walking down the aisle. Oh, he's going to join us, and he right to the restroom.
Yeah,
so I don't know if we're going to see him or not in the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, we'll get him in on the next break, and we're getting close because we've got about 3 minutes before we take our first commercial break. But good job, Brett.
Oh, please, hey, I'm here for you, Chip.
So, let me ask you this. Since you're running the show today, we've got National Guard involved, but National Guard can be activated by the governor, Tim Walz, or by the president, Donald Trump. So, and Chief Schultz has weighed in on this before privately. I don't know if we've done that on the show, but is there a potential problem in
well, yeah, you've got all these forces coming together in one epicenter of power. You have the state government, and they're being accused of fraud, and they're anti-ICE. Then you have the president. He wants to nationalize the National Guard to protect ICE from the people who are attacking ICE. Is it possible one day he'll have to say the National Guard is opposing ICE, therefore I'm bringing in federal troops to regulate everybody, which could include the National Guard? What a horrible position for those National Guardsmen to be in when they're thrust into this pull and tug of who's in charge. That's got to be an untenable situation for their commanders.
Yeah, I think the term for it is civil war.
Yeah.
I mean, it could really collapse badly.
Yeah. I'm going to keep an eye on Fort Sumter. If there's another shot fired, then we'll know what's going on. Somebody calls me a Yankee.
Well, guys, we've got about 1.5 minutes before we do our first commercial break when it gets to 9:17. So.
Well, I'm hoping that since it's winter in Minneapolis, that the conditions, which are horrible, will help mitigate the crowds on the street. Right? It's just too doggone cold to go out there and really protest at will. So hopefully maybe by the time it starts warming up in Minneapolis, some of this tension and some of this rhetoric is gonna come down. But everybody I see, Don Lemon included, when he invaded that church, he was all bundled up.
Yeah,
it's cold up there.
No, I agree.
We have not. You might have, Dr. But I have not encountered cold like that.
Well, if you want to hear what some of the people online are saying, we've got Brett Bartlett is hosting the show. That's fascinating, and that's from Sergeant George. I think he's over in Hayward, California.
Yeah.
And then we need a nickname for the three of you. Well, hold on, because Travis Yates is going to be joining us after the commercial break, and you need a nickname for the four of us. And we've got Arthur Johnson from Richmond, Virginia. So thanks for watching the show. And good afternoon, gentlemen. Stay safe. Keep doing things. We got Kenneth Payne. We got Laya that's watching the show. So people all over the country are typing in on the stream. And
if you guys want me to continue to host, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and I'll yank that microphone right out of his face.
And tell you what, I mean, I appreciate the job you're doing, Brett, but I appreciate Chip for being able to
we'll be right back.
over the keys to the car.
See, I'm just the face. It's all I'm just the face.
All right, guys, it's time to talk about our title sponsor, Galls at galls.com. And as police officers, we all know that you can get our gear from a lot of different places, especially once you get online. But I want to remind everybody about the importance of buying the gear from the companies that actually support law enforcement. I don't know of a company that does it better than Galls at galls.com. And even their motto is proud to serve those who serve, which of course they do in spectacular fashion. And they walk the talk by supporting dozens of focused organizations like this radio show. So when you're looking for gear, please support our title sponsor by going to Galls at galls.com. And look, for the loyal listeners of the show, they've got a radio code that they're going to give you. And in order to get 15% off your next purchase at galls.com, all you have to do is type in radio 15. So that's radio 15 in order to get 15% off your next purchase. And hey, they have gift cards. Hook up your family, friends, and loved ones with a new Galls gift card at galls.com, and they will be your new best friends. Again, do that all by going to Galls at galls.com. And now I want to talk about Compliant Technologies at complianttechnologies.com. They're committed to providing non-lethal solutions to help officers gain the upper hand safely and rapidly in a humane, low-optics manner, utilizing their CD3, which stands for Conductive Distraction and De-Escalation Technology. Now, their flagship product we all know by now is called the Glove. It's helped officers tens of thousands of times with no injuries, and you heard that correctly. So no injuries. The glove has actually achieved non-lethal status in an arena that predominantly can only offer less lethal results. And when it comes to weapons retention, transition to a sidearm or a kinetic energy weapon, the glove at ComplyTechnologies.com, they have virtually eliminated weapons confusion. So stay ahead of the game with Comply Technologies and the revolutionary CD3. The hundreds of agencies have already turned to nationwide. And friends, take it from me, take it from us. When it comes to safety, this is one of the most hands-on, most innovative products that's ever come along. And so go to ComplyTechnologies.com today and tell them that Chip, Travis, Brett, and the Chief sent you. Again, that is ComplyTechnologies.com. And when you go, please make sure you watch the cool videos and watch that Dan De La Cruz guy put the glove on people. ComplyTechnologies.com. All right, we've got about 2 minutes. This is when I was going to have you slide in. So, we are good. So,
welcome.
All right, guys, stick with us. We got 2 minutes before we come back to the radio portion of the show. So we got a little less than 2 minutes, and we'll be back on radio, and Brett will be hosting when we come back. All right, guys.
All right.
Sorry, man.
No, we're good.
We're okay, pal. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you.
So
somebody wanted
your ears on. You can hear okay? Okay.
You just get out of central booking.
Your mic, and so do me a favor, get that off the table because it'll do interference. And well, the cell phone's next to it. Yeah, you may want to move yours too, Chief, just because of the anything close by the electrical equipment's not good. And all right, guys, we're batting 1,000.
My heart thing, will that interfere with it?
Well, Travis Scott, I'm glad Travis Scott here because, and let me just make sure here, guys, we're going manual because we're at 9:19. Let me just start here at 21 at 9:21, which is in exactly 1 minute. We're going to start back, but I'm glad Travis is here because, he's bringing the topics of what we're talking about today. He was, on the news early this morning, and he said he was gonna have some new stuff for us. So I can't wait.
He's going to give us the what had happened was update.
Now if there's like an assault on an Uber driver and the guy fled and in the direction of SHOT Show, we want to talk about that.
We don't know
too.
nothing about it.
Have you guys talked about Ellison yet? AG in Minnesota?
No.
Okay.
Not in depth.
All right.
We've been talking basically about Minnesota, but nothing by name.
Yeah, because liability.
You get arrested.
We talked about you a little bit. Okay. So, all right, guys, we got about 19 minutes, and hopefully, I know they're saying they like the new format. So,
19 seconds.
Well, if we can't be the Three
90
Musketeers now that Travis showed up, what are we going to be?
Fabulous Four.
4 seasons.
About right here.
Yeah, you'll want to be up on it a little bit. But yeah. All right, guys, 2 seconds.
Okay?
Here we go. Back to radio.
All right, we are back from the break. There's good news. All of you out there, cancel the silver alert. we have found Dr. Travis Yates. He is here with us, and Travis, thanks for being here. Our topic is what's going on in Minneapolis. We've been talking about some Second Amendment stuff, open carry versus concealed carry. We're talking about that, but what's new and exciting this morning, Travis?
Well, other than the fact that, this is awful close confinement here, Brett.
Yeah.
I liked you guys before, but I'm sure I like you this much. And also the fact I'm glad that myself and Jack Carr, author of The Terminalist, was right out here, and you chose me to be on the show over Jack Carr. That's pretty awesome, right?
Yes.
And so, obviously, SHOT Show.
Well, I got to tell you, Travis, when you toss a coin, it's always a 50-50 shot. So you went. It came up tails.
Yeah, you did not win on that one. But, Minnesota is crazy, man. And obviously a lot comes to mind. But one of the things that really struck me this week, the Attorney General, Keith Ellison, everybody knows that I sort of thought he was a political hack because his decision making, he doesn't understand what prosecution works. But after his comments after this church incident, I'm kind of thinking maybe he's just dumb. Because what he said in the interview after that was, hey, it's their First Amendment right to go in that church and do that. Now, I don't want to have to educate an attorney general of a state, but the First Amendment is about intrusion from the government. You can't walk into private property and do that. Okay, your right doesn't trump the rights of them to freely assemble and for their First Amendment right. And so, obviously, he probably does know that, but because there's derangement that these politicians have, they just can't admit that it's wrong. They just can't admit it's wrong, and I think they lose a lot of credibility. Yeah, they maybe speak to their base of the purple hair people, but I think most of America sees that, and that's where I think this is really messed up. You may have had somewhat of an argument that, hey, ICE is doing this or ICE is doing that. because they list these partial videos and they're giving you out of context information. But when you do that, most of America sees that and goes, okay, hold on here. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I know the federal government has subpoenaed a bunch of information. Don Lemon, your favorite CNN personality, they've gotten all of his video because he filmed the crimes occurring. So it's going to be interesting how it plays out. I would tell you, for somebody that thought this was completely wrong of what happened, I would tell you that there needs to be arrest, because there needs to be accountability for that. Could you imagine every church in America has to deal with that? What would happen if that was your church, Dr. Schultz?
I don't know. We talked about that yesterday. What, we know what to do with an active harmer or a disruptive person or drunk or, some domestic violence. It's kind of in progress, but to have 40 people march into the, I would be happy that would double our church attendance. But
well, what's interesting is you're right. I don't know we've ever had to prepare for that, because who thought that would ever occur? It's so outside normalcy, right? Pretty wild.
And we think, okay, it's only going to happen there. It's only going to happen. We don't know. My little church there in Land Lakes, Florida, we could be having and some group decide to come on in. So when you start thinking it can't happen in my little location, you got to be very, very careful. But they need to nip this right here. This is the biggest incursion I've ever seen in my life. The biggest incursion against private citizens in our states. I've never seen anything like it.
Let's talk about the reality. If you're in that church in St. Paul, Minnesota, it wasn't too long ago at a Catholic school, someone went in and shot that place up. This is happening across the country. Keith Graves, the expert in this area, is here at Todd's show. I'm meeting him later today, and he'll tell you that. So your concern isn't, these are just people exercising their First Amendment rights like crazy Keith Elson says. This could be potential violence, because what precedes violence, and of course I talk about this all the time on the show, what precedes violence, what's the sentinel indicator? It's anger. And it's words, as we call it, declarations. And so, they didn't commit violence, but when you look at that, they were certainly trying to provoke it.
Yeah, and don't think for a second, all you listeners, that those people didn't go in there. And plan A is to scream and shout and make them uncomfortable. But let's have plan B, which is if they come at us, we will say we're protecting ourselves.
Speaking of the devil, there's Keith Graves. I just mentioned him, and here he is. You can't see him, but we're talking about the St. Paul Church incident, and we're going to have Keith Graves on the show tomorrow. Keith, he's going to commit right now. He'll be here tomorrow to talk specifically about that. But everybody wants to tell you this is about some sort of speech, but how do you not sit in those church pews, not understand anger and declarations and words matter inside the church covenant?
It's part of the big plan. I think the other side would have loved if those churchgoers had bowed up physically against them. That would be the best outcome they could have seen for the anti-ICE, anti-Trump movement.
There's plenty of historical precedent, and I think about, you used the term yesterday, useful idiots, and the discussion of that is that the leftists who are the most active become the first victims of the government that they're supposedly hoping for. And I was watching the video of the original speaker of that term, and he said, these leftist activists are going to be the first ones lined up against the wall and shot. I'm not saying that I'm predicting that, but I just, and I don't want to think that a whole part of the population is just deluded. But there's a segment of the populations that is deluded about what this leftist activism does. Now, I understand the extremism of the right and the worry about the excesses in our current White House. But the real danger is from the leftist extremists who are agitating in a way that they're going to suffer from.
Well, Dr. Schultz, there's a difference, and let me just explain the difference. There's extremists on both sides. We saw the extremists on the left just this week. Let's talk about the extremists on the right. The Biden administration threw those extremists in federal prison in his administration for praying in front of an abortion clinic. They used that same act, the KKK act, as we're talking about this church, but they were thrown in prison, elderly women, for praying in front of an abortion clinic. So that's activism on both sides, but there's a difference in activism. You're not trying to provoke a reaction and violence by praying in front of places.
I saw somebody this morning on Facebook that said, and they did an AI video of it. What if a contingent of Republicans had marched into a Muslim service and done the same thing? Where would be the outrage?
You got me going now. Let's get this on at SHOT Show. Do you think for 1 second that Don Lemon would have pulled that stunt in a synagogue, in a mosque, anywhere?
No way.
No, they particularly went to a Christian church because they knew. If you would have walked into a synagogue, you walked in the other area, something drastically happens.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, guys. Hey, we're coming up on our next commercial break. Stick with us. We will be right back.
Keith Gray.
All right, guys. It's time to talk about Aero Precision and AeroPrecisionUSA.com, a beacon of durability, dependability, and all-American craftsmanship in the realm of duty rifles. And yes, we're talking about long guns. So more from an aerospace engineering company. So you know these guys know what they're doing. The Aero Defense by Aero Precision demands perfection because selling for anything less is not an option when your life is on the line. You can visit AeroPrecisionUSA.com for a lineup that matches every discipline because they basically have something for everybody. You know, way back since 1994, they've been quietly leading the AR builder parts domain, but now they're making waves in the complete rifle arena with Solus bolt actions. And that's not all. Their M4E1 Pro and the Mod 4 handguards. They hit the market at AeroPrecisionUSA.com already. The embodiments of duty rifle excellence now being tailored to the civilian customer. And what that means is that now you guys can start getting your hands on the primo stuff. And we're not done. Their M5 AR three-way platform that's nothing short of spectacular. So don't settle for less when you can have the best. Head over to AeroPrecisionUSA.com. Again, that is AeroPrecisionUSA.com. All right, guys, we got 4 minutes before we come back to the radio portion of the show. And we'll be back on satellite in 4 minutes.
I missed the mute button. I can't mute my own mic.
I had you muted through most of the show.
Well, I'm used to muting the button and yelling at the dogs. That's what I do. Yeah.
Well, if you have a coughing fit like Travis, or if we want to talk off the air about Chip, then we're in trouble.
So, Brett. Yeah. 12:34. That's what you're looking for. We go live at 12:34. Or 9:34. That clock.
9:34. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna remember that.
All right. I got your back.
You poke Travis will poke Brett, and then we'll know.
Yeah.
Then there'll be a big fight right behind that. That'd be some
watch the ratings.
Yeah.
All right. So let's look at. We got Ed Smith. I don't want to say what Ed Smith said. You guys, this is Spook Dog. You guys should use this kind of lighting at the time, all the time, because it makes you guys look young. Thank you, Spook Dog. That's freaking awesome.
The Spook Dog.
Yeah,
so it makes me look under 100.
High. That's why he's saying that.
Yeah,
he's not good.
Yeah. And MBS says they keep pushing and pushing until we snap. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get a reaction. And he said some other choice words.
I'll bet he did. Yeah. I'm glad we're not in Minneapolis because it would just what a horrible place to be. With leftist cities. Did you ever see that TV show called Portlandia?
No.
It was a spoof.
Brilliant.
It was a spoof of these leftist people, and it was just so funny. They're just so over the top, ridiculous.
Whose hand is that on my thigh?
Well, I'm showing my too, so I don't know. Everybody.
I tell you what the fall of Minneapolis was the Mall of America. That's the scariest place on earth.
Really?
Yeah.
Especially Christmas.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
You seen the terminal list?
That was a good choice.
You seen the terminal list on Amazon? Terminal list, Amazon.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Jack. Is that him right there?
Yeah,
oh,
really?
Yes, I see. Oh, yeah. Really? I love that stuff.
Travis, you don't realize people are going gaga over this stellar group. You're pointing out famous people, and here we are.
I brought Jack's book because I said, hey, maybe I'll see Jack. And I left in the room this morning. I go, there's no way I'm going to see Jack. And I walk around the corner there. He's in front of your booth watching your show.
Yeah. We were just talking about on the way down. We didn't see any celebs. But yeah, he's big news.
Nice guy.
And I was hoping to catch up with Keith, though we've never met, but he does great.
At 10 o'clock, I'll just give a big plug. At 10 o'clock, he's doing a meet and greet at the Rock and Barrel Arms booth. We'll go there and talk to him after this. He's a great dude. Keith is the man. He knows it all about this stuff. He's been studying this stuff for years.
Yeah, he used to be a big narcotics guy. And been training all over the world, and then shifted his focus to church security. And
he does most of it for free. It's just a great dude.
Really?
Yeah.
He's
one of those Idaho implants from California.
I may ask you later for his contact.
Got Brian Spencer, retired sheriff from Benton County, Colorado again, 31 years.
Out on the plains.
And 1 minute.
Okay, everybody tell me, hat stays or goes? Let shit know. Do you want the hat to stay or go? You won't want to see what's under the hat.
Well, I've never seen you wear it with the bill this direction.
Ah. I know for a fact you don't want to turn it backwards. As my kids would say, I don't have that kind of street cred.
We're going to change that song. I was going to do the show, then I got high. You ever heard that?
No.
That's funny.
No. Can't say
I'm going to clean my room, then I got high.
30 seconds. All right. All right, moving right along. So you like the new mic that we got just for you, Travis?
This is good, man. This
Yeah.
is good. I don't usually like cylindrical objects. I was trying not to hold it with both hands.
Dude, I had to back the power down on that thing.
Once you get one, who cares about the second and third time?
All right, I'm starting the music. We're going back this way. Here we go, guys.
All right, welcome back. We're at LEO Roundtable. We're live in Las Vegas, Nevada at the National Sport Shooting Foundation SHOT Show. We have Dr. Joel Schultz and Dr. Travis Jason, and of course, our yoga master, Chip DeBlock. We were just talking about Minneapolis, what's going on. I had a thought during that break. What a horrible position for law enforcement in that city, because I think at some very a point not far in the future, they're going to be asked, pick a side. Pick a side. You're going to be for us. You're going to be against those poor guys. And then we have the National Guard coming in. So we have all these forces converging on Minnesota, and it's a powder keg. And my concern is, y'all, something's going to blow up. Some little spark is going to blow it all.
But it's not necessarily a bad thing having to pick a side. I mean, how many people have been in the middle?
Side. There's only one side, and that's the law. There's only one side.
Well, you would think, yeah.
Yeah, enforce the law. You know, I used to tell people all the time, if you don't like the law, don't yell at me.
Is there something to be said? Is there something to be said, Brett, that the Minneapolis officials have created this? Because the fact that they will arrest illegal immigrants on violent crimes and let them out, I think there's been a couple thousand the ICE has said that has happened. It forces ICE have to go into that city.
Yeah.
You know, people aren't taking a big view of this. The only reason ICE is in our cities today is because of what happened under the Biden administration, letting millions and millions of violent criminals in this country. If that would have never occurred, ICE would not be in these cities.
Right.
And it's a shame that legal immigration, you know, we are a nation of immigrants. We appreciate people that are coming for a better life. They want to assimilate. They want to learn the language. They want to be productive. They want to pay taxes. And that group of people has been maligned by the people that are butting in line and coming over to do criminal activity. And the stuff that we know is very frightening, but the stuff that we don't know, I mean, you can call me paranoid, but do you think that there aren't sleeper cells that had just wandered across the border with no vetting at all?
You can't let millions of people in this country and not vet them and not understand that's what's happening. And listen, you're right. We have brain cells, so we understand the difference between legal immigration and illegal immigration. And what the left is trying to do is they're trying to put it all under, oh, you don't care about immigrants. No, of course we do. That's why we don't want illegal immigrants that have gone through the vetting process. So I feel for the people that have gone through that 10 or 12-year process to become legal, did it the right way, and now they're sitting back going, what is this about? That's why when you look at the polling, most the legal immigrants are not for what's happening. And listen, I don't understand what we're watching. It's kind of a historical, but we have a political party that is clearly laid their stake on, because look at what they get more upset about. That's where you know where their power is. Right. Their power base is, what do they scream more about since Trump? Fraud and immigration enforcement. So that tells me both of those are sources of their power. Fraud is a source of their monetary power, and immigration is a source of their political voting power. So all you got to do is step back, get away from the noise, and go, why are you fighting this fight? Because I think most of America looks at this and goes, what is going on here?
Now, if go ahead, please.
Well, you interrupted. I lost my thought, but I'll have it back. And that's why I have a notepad here. Is gonna keep track of my fleeting thoughts. No, what I was thinking about is we have this schism between legal and illegal immigration, and I think the same is beginning to be true with the division of law enforcement. You have people say, well, ICE isn't really, they're not really police. Well, duh, they are. And Travis, your common sense, even though you're such an academic intellectual,
yeah, right.
You managed to keep the common sense when you pushed in all the education. I've been accused of that, but
I never have.
But the outstate law enforcement groups, the Minnesota, I can't remember what their name is. It's like their association of police. I've done some training with them, and the police unions are all aghast at this as well. And so, that we don't want to paint with too broad a brush. And I just hate to see. I use the term civil war, and it may be a little bit of a hyperbole, but I hate to see brother against brother, in terms of the law enforcement community.
How dangerous is it, Dr. Schultz, that we've got high-ranking politicians and leaders that have told American citizens ICE isn't law enforcement? Let me tell you why that's so deadly and dangerous. After Renee Good was shot and killed, her wife, girlfriend, whatever you call it, she made the statement on camera, I can't believe they use real bullets.
Right.
These individuals act just like if you call the president a fascist and Hitler. There's going to be a segment of our society that are mentally deranged that think, well, what do you do against Hitler? You have to kill Hitler. And of course, we saw it. It's the same thing with ICE. When you tell people that they're fascists and they're Nazis and they're not real law enforcement, they don't belong in this city when they have every legal right to. There's going to be a segment of society that says, well, we can do whatever we want to them, which is what we're seeing. And so they have created this chaos, and then they're blaming ICE for the chaos. They've created the environment. And man, I have to think this is not going to win politically because this looks so extreme and so insane.
Well, I don't know. There's a segment of people out there on the right. There's a small segment on the left. There's a small in the middle. Are the rest of us going, what the heck is happening here? But we're not vocal in that.
I go back to this, Brett. There's a study done post 2020, and they asked people their political affiliation, and they asked them how many unarmed blacks were shot last year by American law enforcement. The people on the left and far left said on average 10,000 blacks were shot unarmed. The answer was 7. Okay, 10,000. Right. So I used to say this: if you actually believed that, you'd be out in the streets too. Well, they've done the same playbook with ICE. They've made people believe that they're these horrible, horrible people that are literally enforcing the law passed by Congress. That's what they're doing. So they've made people believe this. And if you believe that, you would be out there doing the same thing. And so this is the playbook they're using. And man, they have a handful of people that can create this chaos in these cities.
Well, one of the things that this happens during wars where the opposing parties trying to make each other look like less than humans. Remember World War II, they had a stereotypical Japanese person, short, bug-eyed. It's not true, but it made it eat well. And the Germans, what do we say about them? They drew cartoons about the Germans. So if you can dehumanize the other side,
you didn't mention the Jews at all. You said that for a reason.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, off the air.
If you can dehumanize the other side, it makes it easier to attack.
No, that's exactly right. And I don't want to play the game who's more Nazi, but if you want to say who's dehumanizing groups of people, who's stereotyping, who's playing off,
who's putting us in boxes,
and playing the same propaganda game with the same memo that goes out, so everybody has the talking points. Like I said, I don't want to play who's more Nazi, but people can choose.
Well, here's a point I've been wanting to make, and I think it has some validity. They're screaming at us that we're the fascists, right? Trump is a fascist. Who is the historical enemy of the fascists? The communists. So if you go back to Weimar Germany, pre-World War II, the fascists were fighting the communists. So if they call us fascists, ergo, that means by historical tradition, they're the communists.
Well, you're giving these brain dead people a lot of credit to even know history. I mean, it is amazing to believe that since 2002, ICE has been fully funded and fully operational in this country. In fact, do a Google search. They were raiding Home Depots during the Obama administration. Obama gave Tom Homan an award for deporting so many people. And so nothing's really changed. It's just the president's changed and what the media has done. And the media, they have a lot of culpability here by not just telling the truth. We're not saying anything controversial, gentlemen. What we're saying is the truth. ICE can enforce federal law enforcement, not just immigration, all federal law enforcement. They've been duly, sworn by Congress to enforce laws that Congress passed. The media doesn't want to tell them, but they just play into it. And man, if you don't hate the media enough, you need to hate them more.
Yeah, they're bad.
And while we're speaking on microphones, by the way, I guess, but still.
those ICE agents need to put the patch on the back that says police. We're the police.
Well, they're so deranged. They're stopping people that have just rented cars and accusing them of being ICE.
Right, and they've accosted people in restaurants because their network of communists, they let each other know, hey, I think this tag number here. Let's gather up, and they're just people going about their lives. But one guy, he was a sucker. He said, "Oh, I understand you, you, but I am not that."
Let's be honest about this. These people are cowards. They will not come to Oklahoma. They will not come to Alabama.
No.
They won't come to Nevada and pull this stunt. They're going to specific areas where they know weakness prevails and cowards prevail. Bring that to my church. Bring that to a Southern Baptist church. Let's see what happens.
Could you imagine if I'm in a restaurant and there's a crowd of people around me, given my weakened condition, my age and other things? Guess what's coming out of my holster, y'all?
Yeah.
I'm bringing out my smoke pole. Then one of those guys come at me, it's going to happen. And it'll be justified because of the totality of the circumstances.
I got to ask, wait, are you doing a nystagmus or you
1 minute?
There's 1 minute left. I think we need to be honest and ask, should ICE change its methodology and its optics and operate within the reality of public perception? Because what scares me is when the middle class begins to buy into this rhetoric, and then we lose the support of what Nixon called the silent majority. So this transparency and tactics, I hope we're looking at that to see if we can do OPSEC better and force protection better and coordination with local law enforcement better. I don't know.
Yeah, it becomes very difficult in these sanctuary cities when there's no assistance from local law enforcement.
Well, that's a key.
Historically, federal law enforcement is just a partner with local law enforcement. We all know they carry the copy machines around and copy all your reports.
All right,
and take
guys.
credit.
Hold that thought. Commercial break. We'll be right back.
I was hurting by the time we got.
All right, guys, it's time to talk about GunLearn at gunlearn.com. And, as law enforcement officers, we deal with guns every day, but it's what we don't know about them that gets us into trouble. Injuries, civil lawsuits, accidental discharges, misidentifications, lost prosecutions, and also disciplinary issues. But gunlearn.com, they have your back. You can quickly become extremely firearm knowledgeable by simply learning 14 training modules from the convenience of your home or your office, or by attending a live seminar at gunlearn.com. You can also become a safe, accurate, and confident certified firearm specialist, just like our very own Captain Brett Bartlett and also attorney Ken Apianco. Now, the course has had huge success in raising the bar of firearm knowledge, and GunLearn has been a trusted source since way back in 2011 by gun manufacturers, federal agencies, forensic organizations, and, can you believe it, police manufacturers nationwide. So, friends, take it from me. When it comes, to gunlearn.com and training, you've got to go to gunlearn.com. And the founder, Daniel Kelly's got an opportunity for you. If you have your own agency, you can host a seminar for absolutely no cost. Go to gunlearn.com to get more information. And we got 2 minutes before we come back to the radio portion of the show.
I'm hungry.
I think
Captain Bartlett.
we should look like the Senate hearings, where you have you can cover your mic and ask your attorney before you answer.
Even though we can hear you anyway, it was my
I've got mute much. Actually, you've been on mute for the last 20 minutes. I just forgot to unmute you, Chief.
That's right. LFA the same.
Yeah. How about this?
Well, we've done that.
Senator, I have no independent recollection. Ooh, how did that sound? Who was the guy during Watergate? Think of his name. Do you swear to tell the truth? No.
That was a Robert North. That was
he was the only guy that actually went to jail. He said, "No, I don't. I will not. I will not."
And ironically, that was the only true thing he said.
Yeah. What was he wrote the book called Will. G. Gordon Liddy. Remember G. Gordon?
Oh, yeah.
He was a radio personality. He and Chip probably known each other.
Yeah, he's the guy that he refused to swear in. What are you gonna do after that?
1 minute. 12:48. We're going live at 12:48.
Should I be quiet?
No.
Oh, thanks.
No.
What was that? Anybody comment on my hat? Does it stay or does it go?
Well, keep it.
I vote for it.
No, I asked the audience.
Oh, wow.
If I was a dead Democrat, I'd vote for it 3 times.
So, MVS says that
Civil War vets do love Democrats.
his dad was a World War II fighter pilot. Seriously? That's pretty badass. Yeah.
Who was that?
MVS.
What about it?
His dad was a World War II fighter pilot.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Can you believe that? Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think my dad was a
How's the internet in here?
It's actually it's It's not as fast as where I'm at in my home, but it's good.
So you're locking in this internet?
And we're in we do nothing wireless. It's all Ethernet.
Yeah, so good.
All right, 7 seconds, guys. I'm starting the music.
Oh, you're killing me.
Going back to radio. This is our last run before the point, analysis. Ready?
All right, so we're back. We're at the SHOT Show, the National Sport Shooting Foundation. SHOT's in Las Vegas, Nevada. It is the biggest firearms trade show in the world. We're right here live for you. So, Dr. Travis Jason, what do you see if you had to make a prediction for the next 7 days in Minneapolis? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I don't see the Trump administration backing down, but I do see potentially there could be a fatigue level on the other side. Now, there's a lot of paid protesters out there, but I think eventually, there's going to be a crescendo where you can only cover this so much. You can only do this so much. And I think there's going to be a fatigue nationwide. Trump's specific polling numbers have actually not changed. His base has been 48%. It's actually an all-time high for 2 presidencies, even though all this chaos is going on. I think if we look back, I think 2020 showed a lot of people we're not going to buy into all this chaos. Yeah. I mean, and so I think it's not having the effect that they think. And I think it's with these polling numbers, if the polling numbers continue to maintain, I think you're going to see a drawback from the left on this because it's not helping them. And I think it's not helping them because we were all fooled, not all of us, but many of us were fooled in 2020, and it changed the world. And, you combine the George Floyd and COVID on top of that. But people don't trust the media. They don't trust what they're seeing with their own eyes. I mean, they're telling us they're still going with this. It's peaceful. They're still saying this stuff on television, and we're all sitting there staring at it. We're still saying there was no risk to his life while a car is striking him. So in their own eyes, we're seeing it, but they're being told the opposite.
Dr. Schultz, what do you think? 7 days. If you had to make a prediction, what's going to happen in 7 days? A week from today, what's going to happen next week?
Well, I don't want to hedge on your question about the time limit, but what I'm afraid of is when the media attention fades and the fatigue that Travis talked about, I think there's going to be some long-term residual effect among those lone wolf activists, and I think we're going to see some potential individual cases of violence for several months as a result of this. That's going to ignite some brain cells in some people that are ready and willing to make a name for themselves. They're out there.
We've all heard in the last few years, it's not the organized guys. It's that one guy. Same one guy that tried to kill Schultz. It's the one guy. And was at the golf. It's always the one guy.
And they've been ridiculously successful in the last year. Ridiculously.
For some reason, the only combat to Donald Trump has been chaos. It's not ideas. It's been chaos and propaganda and lies. I mean, and it's everything that he's done. I mean, our drug overdoses are at a decade low right now in this country. It's been turned around, and we're still talking about that we're blowing up poor fishermen in the ocean. I mean, so everything that you're seeing is chaos. I have to think that most of America, and maybe that's just 60% of America, Brad, they're tired of that. I mean, they re-elected the president after more chaos than we've ever seen, right? I mean, they threw him in jail. They tried to shoot. I mean, it was just pure chaos for 4 years about him. And so I think most of America that can have a kind of think about this. Once again, I think that they go, why are we for a particular political party that seems to be for all of this stuff that seems outside the bounds of what America's about? And so, yeah, Donald Trump is a lightning rod, but if you close your eyes and listen to what he says, and I listened to a press conference this morning, his ideas are pretty good. That's why I think his polling is kind of remained the same. I think his ideas are pretty good, but the chaos that's around him, it's not necessarily his fault. I mean, you just listen to who's saying what. It's not Donald Trump calling people fascists and Nazis. It's not Donald Trump telling people to go riot and protest. It's not Donald Trump saying that Minneapolis law enforcement isn't law enforcement. It's everybody else.
Yeah. Seems to me that, and I've never met the man, I don't know the man, but I think he's a genius. He starts these, just by words, starts a fire over here, and then he's moving on. So while they're dealing with the fire over here, he's already dealing with the very next thing. I think that's the genius of Donald Trump, is he gets these people exhausted.
Trump 2.0.
And they can't, at some point, they think they're going to go, I don't know.
Well, let me tell you, realistically, they're not mad at Donald Trump because he's Republican, because he's not really. he's a really moderate. He's a Democrat for 20 plus years, right? But they're mad at him because he is the first Republican president that has grabbed the power of the presidency. Right. He's the chief law enforcement officer. He's the chief of of the finance. I mean, the power of the presidency is a lot of power. Democrats have had no problem doing that through the years, Dr.
Right.
I mean, look at Obama gets Obamacare. Boom. I mean, filibuster. Who cares? Biden, Green New Deal. I mean, the Democrats have no problem with power, but when Donald Trump literally just uses the same rules that they use, all of a sudden it's retribution. Right. All of a sudden this is crazy. And so it's really, all he's done is he's, unlike what the George Bushes of the world have done, which is, let's try to play nice so the media doesn't talk bad about us. Donald Trump says, we're going to act just like a Democrat president and we're going to wield power.
He's definitely wielding
it. Some of that is frankly scary, and I don't want to come off as 100% pro-Trumper because he's done some things that bothers me.
I agree.
And that also is going to wear thin to his detriment. I'll tell you what lost, and without talking about possibility of voter fraud in the 2020 election, the person responsible for Trump's loss after his first administration was Donald Trump.
Yep.
And I think that same kind of wariness, we appreciate what you're doing. We like you being a regular guy. We like you being plain spoken. We like that you don't pull any punches. But, renaming the Kennedy Center and, they're just some things that are kind
putting a picture of the auto pen for Joe Biden.
That's just too funny. You gotta go with that. But I think the Democrats going to take the 2028 election because of the
28th presidency.
No, not presidency.
26th midterms.
The midterms.
Yeah, I mean, I think historically we see that midterms. So I think it has to be expected they'll take Congress.
But I wish the American public would ask the Democrat Party, and I want a strong Democratic Party. I believe in a two-party system. You got to have some friction to get some compromise. But if we just say, okay, let me find a Democrat leader that will give us an agenda besides we hate Trump. Give us some policy. Give us something to chew on.
And I'd love to have a Democrat Party that would actually have primaries, Dr. Schultz. That'd be nice.
Well, yeah. I don't want to say who's more Nazi, but they're playing the game.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have an actual primary election for Democrats.
I don't know if it would have made any difference last time around, but yeah.
Do you guys think that Donald Trump has in his mind, let's 2026, we could lose the midterm, I'm going to get as much done now as I possibly can? And if he does get it done, is he worried about it getting rolled back? Okay, is it getting rolled back?
I think his frenetic pace in the first year was very intentional because he probably recognized politically that you're gonna flame out a little bit, I mean, they're already trying to roll back. I mean, they're trying to defund ICE. I know they're planning an impeachment. They may not figure out what it's for yet, but they'll go ahead and try to do it.
Right.
That's that very risk if the Democrats take power again, particularly executive power, which by the way is like 90% of our government, right? Mm-hmm. So Congress for the last I don't know how many years, 50 years, have been saying, well, the bureaucrats can take care of the fine points. Well, guess who's in charge of the bureaucrats? The President of the United States. And so so Congress has ceded power to the executive, and Trump does not give an inch away of what is lawful presidential power. Now he pushed some boundaries.
That's the big difference.
And the courts may push back a little bit on that.
But the interesting part, and just to confirm what you said, is there's been a lot of lawsuits filed, and the Supreme Court has ruled for Trump for that executive power for the most part.
Yeah, he's had, I think, close to 400 lawsuits compared to a third of that in the entire Biden administration.
And while the left's calling the Supreme Court corrupt, that's what they do, they're just ruling on past rulings with executive power when they come down with that.
Yeah, and if either party decides to denigrate and to invalidate our respect for the rule of law as expressed in the Supreme Court, that's where the system would really break down.
Well, there's only one party doing it right now.
And that's true. That's true.
All right, Doctor. Travis Yates, any last thoughts for today for the people out there listening while we're at the SHOT Show?
Well, we've talked a lot about chaos, and I hate to spend a whole show on politics, but that, that's what the world is, and that's when they watch TV, that's what they see. You have your own responsibility, right, to uphold what's right, what's wrong, lead your family well.
Yep.
Try to ignore all the nonsense.
It all start, and the singer Michael Jackson said it starts with a man in the mirror, and I'm big.
I thought you were going to say beat it.
No, that never worked out. Dr. Joel Schultz, any last thoughts for the show?
Just support your local police. I mean, do things that are just nice and respectful and cooperative. And if you feel like you've been treated wrong, complain later.
Got it.
But it all comes down to what's going on in your hometown.
All right.
Well, guys, Brett, you did a fantastic job hosting. Dr. Schultz and Dr. Travis Yates. Thanks, guys, for being on the show. We do take this time normally talk about the Wounded Blue, the woundedblue.org, Lieutenant Rennie Sutton's 501c3, helping cops out in the world of hurt that are suffering from things like PTSD and other issues. Travis here is on the board of directors for the Wounded Blue.
I'm standing right here in Las Vegas.
That's right. So thanks so much for what you guys do. And guys, want to mention our sponsors. We have guys, please support our sponsors. They go to the great lengths. We've got Galls.com. Don't forget about the code radio15 to get 15% off most of your purchases. We have CompliantTechnologies.com, Aero Precision USA, Gunlearn.com, on Medicare.live, SaferRecruiting.com, TwoBells.com, and also FisherLandoBass.com with Zach. We'll see you guys back tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern. And we're going to keep this thing going for the next minute and a half to keep the satellite company happy. So till we get to the top of the hour in about 53 seconds. But final words, guys? Just pray and trust in God, and He'll do the right thing. He's always in charge.
And, the church is in the news because of St. Paul. So how about attending the church this week?
Yeah.
Go attend your local church. Support your local church.
I read a book, and I'll say it real quick. It's called Irresistible. A big preacher from here was in China, and she recognized him from a tape that she had pirated from somewhere. And she asked this question, Pastor, why doesn't everybody in America go to church?
Because they can't. They can't, right?
Because we think over there they get in trouble if they go. But over here, we just walk around and you don't go to church. If every person in America went to church, imagine what we could do.
So many places people are huddled in quiet places waiting for the booth to come in, the terrorist, and we're having church flips over the
protesters.
Right. And we're having arguments over the color of the carpet and the lighting fixture. Yeah. It's a sad commentary.
And the old lady deacon, she's a raising Canaan.
Well, before we go, let's talk about that glove challenge, because I think Travis and I are the only ones that are kind of up for it. And we're gonna need to hook up with Dan Dela Cruz. I know that I got a notice on my phone yesterday that MVS had made a donation to the Wounded Blue in supporting the challenge. So just as a refresher, guys, if you guys go to the Wounded Blue, they have a landing page. I think it's under events. But Travis and I are both going to get the glove applied. There may be some other people involved, but right now it's going to be myself and Travis. Correct, Travis?
I suppose so.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And everybody start practicing these words. Well, that's never happened.
So the deal of the promotion is this, and the information's on the landing page, but Compliant Technologies, they own the glove. The electricity does not go through your body, but it's applied. It's isolated to the location of where you're being touched. And so whoever is able to stay the longest without complying wins the challenge. And here's what happens. The Compliant Technologies will donate a pair of gloves to that individual. Let's say Travis wins. He will get a pair of the gloves. Now, they can only be owned by a law enforcement agency. He can donate them to his own agency, the Tulsa Police Department, and they'll let someone carry them and be trained on them. And then let's say whoever donates in Travis's name and donates the most amount of money, if he's the winner, the guy that donates the most amount of money in Travis's name, they will also win a pair of gloves. And if they're a civilian, they can donate it to a police agency of their choice. If they're active, they can donate it to their own agency and more than likely end up carrying them as long as they get the training to do so. So it's a win-win. The glove people, Compliant Technologies, they will get their gloves inside the door for two agencies, which will be a huge feat. And it's a win for us too. Whoever wins the challenge. Look, it's all for charity. It benefits the Wounded Blue, the woundedblue.org. So I'm going to try the last and longest. I know Travis.
Well, can I just say that I'm at a disadvantage because muscular men, this device hurts them more. So I'm at a distinct a disadvantage in this little competition.
All right.
I think you do the double sponsorship and have Gauls donate a pair of dark pants for you.
Yes. Just in case something happens.
No, I'm hoping they're waterproof on the inside, and then that may come in handy. Yes, yes.
I want to say this after it's over. Does anybody smell smoke?
Hey, I think we're at capacity. So hey, streamers, thanks so much for watching the show. We appreciate it. Thank you for all the comments. And James Young, one of our most recent comments on Facebook. Thanks for supporting us. We really love our fan base. Well, guys, we're gonna be back here live tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure who else gonna. I know that Travis just got here. I know that we got a who's our guest that you invited?
Keith Grace.
All right, tell our audience about him so they can.
Keith Grace knows more about church security than any man on the planet. You can go to ChristianWarrior.com. It's either ChristianWarrior.com or Christian Warrior Training.
Yeah.
ChristianWarriorTraining.com. Ton of resources. He's been on this for a decade now. Incredible resource. And he'll be here at 9 o'clock, Lord willing.
A lot of free
Oh,
stuff.
very good, man. Love to see that.
9 o'clock Pacific time. So, guys, we haven't changed our time watching the show. It's 12 Eastern, which is the same as 9 Pacific. We've also got another panelist that's been lined up for us. And, when you're here at SHOT Show and you're here in this media center, I kind of call it the Rush Limbaugh, trail. It's just like there's like Fox. Everybody's here. And we have a list of people that are supposed to be on the show, and we have to keep an inventory of that. So we've got another guest that they want to put on our show tomorrow as well. We'll figure all that out. We've got 4 microphones, and we've got 4 chairs. I'm practically in Travis's lab, which is not necessarily a bad thing. We did a little bit of practicing last night. Yeah, he actually picked me up. I thought he was going to throw me over that railing last night. We were on that rooftop bar. Remember when Travis picked me up? He said he didn't like being hugged.
No, I
we
didn't try to stop him either. I didn't really.
I kept waiting for someone. He's picking me up and holding me up over his head like Rocky did with the blonde. Yeah. Rocky. Remember when he fought Hulk Hogan and he held Hulk Hogan over his head? He was struggling. Travis wasn't struggling last night.
Again, for the record, no flamingo girls involved.
Yeah. All right. Hey, streamers, thanks, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching the show. We're going to let you go. And don't forget to enter the contest at thewoundedblue.org. Thanks, guys.
Woo. It's a world.